Hi, VencoreWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Tuesday, March 22nd. A cold morning here in the Mid-Atlantic region. Low temperatures this morning in the suburbs of Philadelphia, down into the mid to upper 20s in some spots. Milder weather will develop this afternoon as low-level winds turn to a southwesterly direction, and we'll approach the 60-degree mark for highs this afternoon in the I-95 corridor region between D.C. and Philadelphia. And it looks like 70 degrees is on the doorstep for tomorrow afternoon in much of that region from D.C. to Philadelphia and up to New York City. It'll stay warm on Thursday as well, but then showers will arrive late in the day. Periods of rain Thursday night as a strong cold frontal system works its way through. Breezy and cooler on Friday to end the work week. It looks like the weekend gets off to a pretty nice but kind of a cool start on Saturday with mostly sunny skies, probably light winds and cool conditions. High temperatures generally in the middle 50s on Saturday. Showers could move back into the I-95 corridor region later Sunday or Sunday night as a lot of moisture gathers itself down in the south central U.S. and heads northeast towards the Mid-Atlantic region for the latter part of Sunday, Sunday night, and Monday. Let's kind of jump ahead here for a moment and take a look at whether there's a chance for more cold air outbreaks as we end the month of March and evolve into the beginning part of April. This is the 500 millibar height anomaly map for tomorrow night for Wednesday evening from last night's ensemble run of the GFS model. A couple things I want to point out. First of all, the orange represents upper level ridging, and indeed this is sitting on top of the Mid-Atlantic region tomorrow evening. We get quite warm tomorrow, approaching 70 degrees in many spots along the I-95 corridor, so generally a warm look to this upper air pattern. Notice also we tend to focus in on whether there'll be a strong upper level ridge along the west coast of Canada or the U.S. to bring in cold air into the eastern part of the nation, the central and eastern part of the nation. That is not going to be the case tomorrow. Again, expecting a pretty warm spell for later this afternoon, tomorrow, and into Thursday. And really not too bad as we close out the work week. No strong ridge out here in the western part of North America. But let's jump ahead to around the end of the month. And here we go. This is a 234-hour forecast from last night's 0Z GFS ensemble run for around the last day of the month of March, March 31st here. These maps available on tropicaltidbits.com. Again, it's the 500 millibar height anomaly map. Look at this ridge that develops here across Alaska, west coast of Canada, down into the Pacific Northwest coast. This is just a tremendous ridge setting up here at the end of the month of March into the early part of April. Lots of blues here now showing up in the middle part of the nation at this time. This spells more cold air outbreaks, I'm sorry to say, for the central and eventually the eastern part of the nation. Cold air just pours down from northern Canada into the central U.S. with a pattern like this. So we are not done with the cold air outbreak. Certainly not for the central U.S. It looks like this cold shot initially will be focused in on the central part of the U.S., but we can go out a little farther in time and we'll see that the cold air will indeed spill into the eastern U.S. during the first half of April. And indeed, here's a little bit farther out in time. This is now April 2nd, a 282-hour forecast from last night's ensemble run of the GFS. This deep upper level trough now showing blues all the way not only in the central U.S. but spilling over into the eastern U.S. Still strong ridging out here in the western part of North America, suggesting more cold air outbreaks are coming at the end of the month of March and into the first part of April. Perhaps the first couple of weeks of April will feature some cold air outbreaks, at least in the central and eastern U.S., before we probably go from a winter type situation to perhaps summer-like by about the third week of April. Let's now focus in on the short term. Well, let's take a look at some forecast maps from last night's 0Z GFS operational model run. We'll look at 24-hour increments beginning with the 24-hour forecast for this evening, Tuesday evening. Then we'll look at Wednesday evening, Thursday evening, and Friday evening. By this evening, that high pressure sitting over the eastern part of the U.S. shifts off the East Coast, kind of like in a Bermuda High situation over the summertime. And on its backside, a broad southwesterly flow of air will develop first over the middle part of the nation, the Midwest, and by this evening, it'll start to pump in milder air into the Mid-Atlantic region. Will be much milder tonight compared to last night. Again, overnight lows early today in the mid to upper 20s in some suburbs of the big cities, probably holding in the 40s overnight tonight as southwesterly winds develop in the lower part of the atmosphere. And here's the forecast map for tomorrow evening, Wednesday evening. Approaching 60 degrees this afternoon, and certainly 70 degrees is within the realm of possibility tomorrow afternoon. A strong warm frontal system sitting to the north of the D.C., Philly, New York City metro region, moving northward at this point. Still high pressure off the East Coast, southwesterly flow entrenched by this time late tomorrow night in the I-95 corridor. Again, 70 degrees is possible tomorrow afternoon. A strong storm system by this time out in the middle part of the nation with a cold front dropping southward from that low pressure center into Texas. That will play a role in our precipitation later Thursday night. Indeed, here's the forecast map for Thursday evening. Strong cold front approaching the East Coast, and quite a bit of precipitation here in the form of rain depicted by last night's GFS model run. Moving into the D.C., Philly, New York City metro regions Thursday night. It looks like a pretty soaking rain event associated with that cold frontal system. Again, following a warm day on Wednesday and a warm day, breezy day on Thursday. Thursday we'll see some increasing clouds throughout the day, and then showers could arrive at the end of the afternoon, more likely at night. Cooler air behind it moves in on Friday. In fact, let's jump ahead to the Friday evening forecast map. And here we go. By Friday evening, high pressure returns to the Mid-Atlantic region. Certainly looks like drier conditions on Friday, perhaps an early morning shower along the coast. That pushes out. A cool, breezy day on Friday. By Saturday, this is still dominating the weather scene here in the Mid-Atlantic region. It'll be kind of a cool day. High temperatures only in the 50s, perhaps low to mid 50s. Philly, New York City, maybe mid to upper 50s in D.C. Mostly sunny skies, pretty light winds. Showers then will threaten the region. Moisture here gathering itself down over the Gulf of Mexico Friday night, and that turns to the north and east, and it could be some showers reaching the I-95 corridor region of D.C., Philly, New York City late in the day Sunday, if not then by Sunday night, and probably that threat for showers will continue into Monday. So a cold start today, noticeably milder this afternoon, and then quite warm on Wednesday and Thursday, and a soaking rain event possible Thursday night. That's it for now. For VencoreWeather.com, I'm meteorologist Paul Dorian.